ancient Chinese secret to being a bikini competitor, surrounded by a miracle solution. Okay, here we are now in episode 2 of our meet prep series. So I did a squat yesterday. It went pretty well. It was deload, and we're now entering into another phase of my training. So my coach is just preparing that for me now. Some of the things he looked at when I had my training with him this week was my hip mobility. Now, he looked at it and said it was really bad, so I can imagine there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable exercises to do next time. We shall see. As far as my strength's going though, it seems to be going pretty well. The lifts I've not had any problems with so far. They've all been easy, really. I'd say the difficult part is performing them correctly, which is to be expected when you've got mobility problems. But you know, each time he adjusts what I'm doing. At first it's very uncomfortable. After the 4 weeks it's become pretty easy. I just need to be careful that I don't get lazy. That's what I have a coach for, so that I can check in with him a few times a month just to make sure I'm doing everything correctly. Now, about the microphone issues, at the moment I have the microphone that comes standard on this camera, which is the Canon 1200D. I'm sure you can tell it's not the best camera, the best microphone that I could have. I'm looking for a microphone that I can wear on me, because this camera doesn't have a microphone plug-in jack, unfortunately. I was a bit bummed out when I found that out, but oh well, you live and you learn. So I can get a handheld, one of those. It's not an actual microphone that you talk into, it's one of those little things you hold and then you can plug a lapel or lavalier mic or whatever you call it into it. I'm just looking for some recommendations if anyone knows of any good ones. As far as editing software goes at the moment, you can probably tell from the quality that I'm using Windows Movie Maker. It's not the best, but it is free at least. So I'll probably be upgrading to Adobe Elements sooner or later. It depends. Probably not in the very near future, but sometime at this year I'll be upgrading to that. I just want to see if I can get the most out of Movie Maker first. There's still some things I could learn with it, I suppose, so why not get the most out of it before moving on. Image editing though, and adding in text and stuff like that to photos and things like that, I need a better program than Microsoft Paint. So once again, if anyone knows of any good programs that are free, so I am on a bit of a shoestring budget here. I found out that I don't necessarily have to have IPF approved kit for this meet because it's only a regional one, and they've said that for first time for new members, that they don't mind so much if all your kit isn't kosher. So as long as I've got correct shoes, singlet, and what was the other thing? I can't remember what the other thing was, but anyway, they don't mind so much. But I'd rather get the correct kit. So as you know, I've got the wrist wraps, I've got deadlift socks. That was the other thing that you must have. And I've got some weightlifting shoes, also got some deadlift slippers. Now, if you don't want to fork out for some Converse flats, Converse Chuck Taylors or whatever they're called, these are a good alternative. Apparently these are approved, and they're called deadlift slippers. Now, I'll just, as you can see, they're not the most fashionable looking things, but they do the trick. They've got a nice flat sole on them. They're pretty well made. I mean, your feet do kind of slide around in them a little bit, which isn't the best. But that's what I'm using this time, and I'll probably get some better footwear for the deadlift later on in the year once again. So whenever that is, we'll see. Weightlifting belt, I'm still waiting for the new SBD belt to come out. So I keep getting told that it's going to arrive sometime in the next sometime before the end of March. Now we're on the 25th or the 26th of March now. Don't quite know which day it is. I think it's the 25th. So they've got a few days basically, but seeing as my competition's in May, you know, time's ticking away there. As for singlet, there's not really that much choice from what I can tell of a singlet to wear, but the SBD one seems to be what I'd probably go for. Then you need a t-shirt. It can be any plain round neck t-shirt, so I won't have any problems there. Knee sleeves, are they essential? Aren't they essential? I don't think I'll miss them this time. I think that would be more for when I'm a bit more advanced. Any other equipment that I can think of? Let's see. Got the wrist wraps. Not allowed any elbow sleeves, so that's fine. Oh yeah, the pants. Pair of pants. You can't have boxer shorts apparently. So I'll have to buy some of those. This is like a beginner's channel really at the moment. If you want to check out some better channels, I have a list of them that I'd recommend to you. Yeah, so check out Mike Chang if you want to know this ancient Chinese secret to getting ripped. Oh, I'm just joking. He's probably the biggest channel for fitness on YouTube. However, how helpful the information is questionable to me anyway. You know, you can make up your own mind, but the next one, or the first one I'd really recommend, is Omar Isuf. That's OMARISUF. Now he's been around for quite a while now. I've been following him since I think 2011, and his channel is great. Like, it's funny first of all, which is good, and the information he provides is very top notch. He will get in experts to answer questions that his viewers have regularly. He's surrounded by a lot of very knowledgeable people when it comes to lifting and fitness in general, so there's always some good features on his channel. So that's him. I'd also recommend a guy, if you're into the lifestyle, the fitness lifestyle kind of thing, there's a guy, English guy, Lex Fitness, and he's a very humble fella from what I can tell, but he's doing really well for himself, and I enjoy watching his videos. Jasmine Garcia, once again it's the fitness lifestyle. Then you've got Chelsea Lifts as well. There's another one I watch. She's good with the dieting advice, and one thing you'll notice about these channels that I've recommended, but except for the first one, is that they don't offer you a miracle solution. They're all about putting that hard work in, and over time you achieve the results that you need, which is once again what I'm doing. I don't have any goals of winning any championships this year. It's definitely far off. In fact, my main goal for this meet is to have 3 white lights on every lift. Whether that happens or not, we'll see. So basically I want to get 9 out of 9 lifts, whatever the weight is. My voice probably going a bit funny, not that it's not funny already. Yeah. So 3 out of 3 on the squat, 3 out of 3 on the bench press, and 3 out of 3 on the deadlift. If I fail because the weight's too heavy only, then that's great. I don't mind that. But if I fail because of a technical issue, that's what I want to be avoiding. So we'll see how it goes, but that's another episode. We've got most of the training session from Friday. I say first it was the squats, because it was Easter weekend. The gym wasn't open as long, so I didn't have much time. Then after that, I did lunges, but I didn't film that because, let's face it, if you've seen one lunge, you've seen 1,000 lunges, and it was 3 sets of 8 with a 30kg dumbbell. So I'm sure you can imagine what that was like. Then after that it was Romanian deadlifts, that's it. So stiff-legged deadlifts basically. And that went pretty well. Back wasn't feeling great on this particular day, but I did them with no issues. It's not keeled over today. After that we had these TRX body saws, which I did film, but you ended up just seeing my feet rocking backwards and forwards. So if you can imagine, if you know what the TRX is, it's basically a pair of straps with handles on the end that you attach to an overhead bar somewhere, and then you hang them down. You can use them to do like body weight exercises with. So in this particular case, you hook your feet through them, and then you go into a push-up position basically, but your feet will be held off the floor by these straps. And then what you do is you're moving your body kind of backwards and forwards like this. And what that does is it puts a lot of it's like a plank basically, but made more difficult. And the movement backwards and forwards really gets the core muscles working.